Life, at its core, has always been unpredictable. Empires rise and fall, wealth shifts hands, loved ones come and go, and even our own bodies betray us with age. In such an uncertain and fragile existence, most people spend their lives desperately chasing comfort, stability, and safety. But the Stoics remind us of a hard truth. Safety is an illusion, and comfort is temporary. The only true refuge lies not in the external world, but in the inner fortress we build within ourselves. The Stoic path begins with a recognition of control. The greatest tragedy of human life is not what happens to us, but how we waste energy fighting battles we can never win. We rage against fate, we curse the weather, we obsess over opinions, we cling to outcomes beyond our power. The Stoics draw a clear boundary. There are things within your control and things beyond it. Freedom begins the moment you stop clinging to what does not belong to you. Epictetus, who began life as a slave, understood this boundary more clearly than most. He could not choose his chains, but he could choose his attitude. His master could injure his body, but not his will. In this discovery, he found freedom that even kings could not claim. His teachings remind us that no one can make you angry, no one can make you despair, unless you allow them power over your inner judgment. Marcus Aurelius, burdened with the responsibility of ruling an empire, carried Stoicism into the highest halls of power. In his private writings, he confessed that he often struggled with anger, fear, and vanity. Yet he reminded himself that the opinions of others are passing shadows, that fortune is fickle, and that the only true measure of a man is whether he lives according to reason and virtue. If even an emperor found strength not in his crown, but in his discipline, how much more should we? Seneca, immersed in wealth and political intrigue, constantly reminded himself that fortune cannot be trusted. He practiced voluntary hardship, eating coarse bread, wearing rough clothes, living simply for days, so that if disaster struck, he would not tremble. This exercise was not punishment, but liberation. By proving to himself that he could live with less, he freed himself from the fear of losing more. In today's world, our chains are invisible, but no less heavy. We are chained to the approval of strangers online, chained to the endless chase for wealth, chained to fears of failure and rejection. The Stoic philosophy cuts these chains not by removing desire altogether, but by teaching us to desire rightly, to hunger for virtue, wisdom, and self-mastery, instead of fleeting applause or shallow possessions. Stoicism is often misunderstood as cold detachment, but it is far from lifeless. It is not about suppressing emotions, but about transforming them. The Stoic feels love deeply, but does not cling. He grieves loss, but does not collapse. He knows anger, but does not become its prisoner. Emotions are not denied, but disciplined, like fire controlled to warm and forge, not burn and destroy. The practice of memento mori, remembering death, is central to Stoicism. At first it sounds bleak. Why think about death when life already carries so much struggle? But the Stoics saw death not as darkness, but as a lantern. When you remember your time is limited, you learn to cherish every moment. You waste less energy on bitterness and envy. You stop delaying your dreams because you realize that tomorrow is never promised. Imagine waking each day with this awareness. This sunrise may be your last. This conversation may be your final one. This embrace could be the last gift you give. How much more alive would you become? How much more grateful, more forgiving, more courageous? This is the wisdom memento mori awakens. Not despair, but intensity of living. Another powerful Stoic practice is negative visualization. Instead of constantly demanding more, the Stoic imagines life without what he already has. Picture your home burned, your health failing, your loved ones gone. Though painful to imagine, this thought sharpens gratitude. Suddenly, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. The hug you receive today, the meal you enjoy tonight, the air filling your lungs, each becomes a gift you no longer take for granted. Virtue, for the Stoics, is the highest good. Unlike wealth or power, it cannot be stolen by fate or corrupted by time. Virtue is composed of 4 pillars: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Wisdom to see the truth, courage to face hardship, justice to treat others rightly, temperance to master desires. Together, these form the armor of the soul, protection no enemy can pierce. Wisdom begins by asking, what is truly in my control? This single question can save us from endless misery. If someone insults you, does it harm your character? No, then let it pass. If fortune abandons you, does it strip away your virtue? No. Then endure it. By separating what belongs to you from what does not, wisdom clears away confusion and plants the seeds of peace. Courage, too, is essential. Life guarantees suffering. The weak flee from it, seeking distraction, comfort, or denial. The Stoic faces it head-on. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the will to act rightly in spite of it. Every illness, every failure, every betrayal becomes an arena where courage is tested and proven. Justice is the recognition that we are not isolated individuals, but parts of a greater whole. Marcus Aurelius wrote often that we are all citizens of the same universe. To cheat another is to cheat yourself. To harm another is to wound the body of which you are a member. A Stoic lives not for selfish gain, but for fairness, duty, and service to others. Temperance is the final safeguard. Without it, wisdom becomes pride, courage becomes recklessness, and justice becomes tyranny. Temperance teaches restraint in a world of excess. To eat without gluttony, to drink without intoxication, to pursue ambition without greed. It is not denial but balance, the art of enjoying without being enslaved. The Stoics also place great value on reflection. Epictetus advised that we pause before reacting. Is this within my control? Does my anger help? Will my complaint change anything? By inserting reflection between stimulus and response, the Stoic gains power where most people lose it. He acts not from impulse, but from reason. Evening reflection was another practice. At day's end, the Stoics would review their actions. Where did I act with wisdom? Where did I fail in courage? Did I treat others justly? Did I control my desires? This quiet accountability ensured that growth was constant, progress daily, and arrogance avoided. When adversity strikes, and it always does, Stoicism shows its greatest strength. While others collapse into despair, the Stoic endures. He does not deny pain, but he does not surrender to it. He may lose wealth, but not dignity. He may lose loved ones, but not gratitude for the time shared. He may lose health, but not courage. In suffering, the Stoic proves his philosophy is no theory, but a living shield. Leadership, too, is transformed by Stoicism. Imagine a leader who does not panic in crisis, who is not drunk on praise, who is not blinded by anger. Marcus Aurelius modeled such leadership, ruling with patience, humility, and justice, even when surrounded by betrayal and war. Such leaders are rare today, but Stoicism holds them as the standard. In personal relationships, Stoicism creates harmony. It teaches us to love fully, but without chains. To forgive quickly, because holding grudges only poisons ourselves. To accept that others will fail us, just as we fail them, and to practice patience rather than rage. A Stoic does not demand perfection from others, only from himself. Stoicism also embraces hardship voluntarily. Seneca advised practicing poverty. Epictetus advised preparing for insult. Marcus advised imagining loss. By rehearsing misfortune, the Stoic strengthens his spirit. So when hardship truly arrives, it does not crush him. He has trained for this moment, and he is ready. In contrast, modern society glorifies comfort, but comfort weakens the soul. A man who has never faced struggle collapses at the first sign of adversity. The Stoic, by embracing struggle, becomes unshakable. He is not broken by storms because he has already learned to walk in the rain. The Stoic also guards his speech. Words have power, to heal or to wound, to inspire or to destroy. The Stoic chooses carefully, speaking only when words add value. He avoids gossip, slander, and empty chatter, recognizing that wasted words lead to wasted lives. Another key teaching is acceptance. Stoicism does not mean passivity, it does not mean abandoning goals, but it means accepting results. You work with full effort, but if fate denies you success, you do not rage. You see life as a partnership. You provide effort, fate provides outcome. Your peace lies not in victory, but in integrity of action. The Stoic also embraces gratitude. By focusing on what remains rather than what is lost, he discovers joy even in hardship. Gratitude transforms the ordinary into extraordinary. A warm meal, a healthy breath, a loyal friend. While others curse life for what is missing, the Stoic thanks life for what is present. In moments of insult, the Stoic pauses. Why be angered by someone's words? They reflect the speaker's character, not yours. In moments of betrayal, the Stoic reminds himself that human beings are flawed. Why be surprised when weakness appears? By lowering unrealistic expectations, the Stoic frees himself from constant disappointment. The Stoic also confronts mortality with courage. Death is not a tragedy, but a natural event, the completion of a cycle. To fear it is to fear the inevitable. Instead of running from it, the Stoic uses it as motivation to live rightly. For when death arrives, the question will not be, how long did you live, but how well did you live? Imagine a Stoic in the modern world. His phone does not control him, his possessions do not define him, and public opinion does not enslave him. He works with focus, loves with presence, and faces hardship with dignity. He does not waste his short life in envy, fear, or complaint. Instead, he builds an inner fortress no storm can topple. Stoicism is not about rejecting life, but about embracing it fully. It teaches us to love, to endure, to act, to reflect, all while remembering that nothing is permanent. In this balance, there is both serenity and strength. The Stoic does not escape reality. He walks through it with courage and clarity. In the end, Stoicism is the eternal armor for the soul. It does not promise wealth, it does not erase pain, it does not remove struggle, but it offers something greater: resilience, wisdom, peace, and freedom. When fortune abandons you, when death approaches, when all else fails, Stoicism remains, a guiding flame in darkness, a shield against despair, and a reminder that true power lies not in the world around you, but in the world within you.